I wanted to bring today's episode to the podcast talking about the exact steps you can take right now to prepare your body for a baby. And we're going to talk about things that typically get in our way. So I'm going to help you get out of your own way so you can start seeing results. So whether it's you think you don't have enough time, you have tried everything and nothing has worked, the only option for you is IVF, so everything else is on pause, there's nothing you can do. This episode is for you. You can really dig into exactly what you can do right now to prepare your body for a baby. Hey there. Thanks so much for listening to the Get Pregnant Naturally podcast. And I've got a favor to ask you. If you are enjoying learning about the functional approach to fertility, consider going to iTunes and rating and reviewing the podcast. This is how it helps the show reach more people that are struggling with infertility, knowing that there's another approach that really can get to the bottom of why it's not working in the first place. So all you need to do is, if you're on the app or the desktop, just go in and consider leaving a 5-star rating and leave a review. And there is step-by-step instructions in the show notes showing you exactly how to do that. So if you can just take a few minutes, just take the few minutes right now. You can pause this recording, come back, leave the review. It would really mean the world to me and help others that are on the fertility journey as well. Take care. Hey there. I regularly speak with 5 to 10 couples per week who are struggling to have their baby. And although we want to help everyone, we only have 2 spots available per month to work with us. So the Supercharge Your Fertility Discovery call is for action takers. And really people who are ready to move forward so they can finally have their baby. And if you're not ready and you wait, the risk is you'll need to wait 2 to 3 months for a spot to open up. So if you're seriously considering working with us, go to FabFertile, FabFertile.com and click on book a free call. Then you'll be all booked in and ready to spend 30 minutes to give you the action plan to getting pregnant naturally. That's FabFertile, FabFertile.com, and click on book a free call. One theme that keeps coming up with the couples in our FabFertile couples coaching program is sleep. Whether it's insomnia, having a hard time falling asleep, waking up at night, or feeling tired when we wake up, sleep is critical for fertility and hormones. And that's why I'm so excited to have Blue Blocks as our podcast sponsor. So we're exposed to blue and green light from our phones, our tablets, our computers, indoor lights, and more. And this exposure impacts our melatonin production. And melatonin is essential for both female and male fertility. It helps determine the frequency and duration of our cycle and impacts sperm. There's lots of blue light blocking glasses on the market, but the ones from Blue Blocks, they've actually compared other popular brands, and Blue Blocks block 100% of blue and green light, while other brands fall short. So I have their sleep glasses. They have red lenses, and the ones I have are a little translucent frame, and they're so stylish and really cool. And so they eliminate 100% of the blue and green light in the 400 nanometer to 550 nanometer range. So this is the exact range that has been shown in clinical studies to disrupt melatonin and negatively impact your sleep. So all you do is wear your sleep glasses after sunset until it's time for bed, and you'll notice improved sleep after just one use. And it's also cool to use when you're flying for managing jet lag. So I got to say I was a little skeptical about the noticing improvement after one use, but literally I use these glasses and my sleep is actually already pretty good. I used them for one day, and I have to say after one day, I had the best sleep of my life. I just felt so rested. So these glasses, they ship free and they're tracked for all orders anywhere in the world. And also they have all their frames come in prescription, non-prescription, and reading glasses. Plus you can send in your frames and they'll add the blue light blocking and green light blocking lenses to your frame. So this is an easy hack that you can add to your fertility toolkit. All you do is go to BlueBlocks, BlueBlocks.com. Use the coupon code GetPregnantPodcast at checkout and receive a 15% discount. That's BlueBlocks, BlueBlocks.com, and use the coupon code GetPregnantPodcast to receive your 15% discount. I didn't need to go to donor eggs. Obviously, I don't regret it. I have beautiful children. I could have done things differently, restored. I was still cycling back in my 20s. I could have looked at my health, the environmental toxins, the stress I was under.
Many women are being told their eggs are too old. That's often merely an assumption that's not based on actual evidence. The reason being that there is no direct test of egg quality. You can't test egg quality.
It's the man who's got a food sensitivity or he has a zinc deficiency.
Like there can be a root cause to these symptoms that are, quote unquote, period problems, that the doctor will pass you a pill without any question of why.
And some part of you knows that if you can reframe your journey from not want to struggle, or if it is struggle, learn how to embrace the struggle. Learn how to embrace it.
Most conditions in the child occur during the 9 months of development. It's the genetic switches are turned on or turned off, and they're pre-programmed. So you are in such a powerful, amazing position to do amazing things for your kids.
Why is IVF the first step? Because we believe it should be the last step.
Welcome to Get Pregnant Naturally, where functional medicine and natural fertility solutions will help you get pregnant and have your baby.
Hey there, I'm Sarah Clark, the founder of Fab Fertile and your host. I believe the functional approach is the first step for anyone struggling with infertility, and my aim is to help you get pregnant naturally. Today, I'm digging into how to take action during uncertain times. So this episode is for you if you feel like you don't have enough time to prepare your body for a baby. If you feel like you've already tried everything and you don't know what to do next, we talk about the top mistakes. And if you feel like IVF is your only option. So thanks so much for listening. I'm really thankful that you are here. Make sure you hit subscribe. And if you know someone else who is on the fertility journey, please share this podcast with them. Hey there, we're really in some unprecedented times, everything being closed, only essential services opened, and we're all trying to adjust to this new normal. And at this time, it could be tempting to try to fix the world and be everything for everyone else. It's also important to know that it shouldn't come at your own expense. And it's not selfish to still want to get pregnant. This is what you want to do right now. You want to expand your family. You are doing everything you can right now to prepare your body for a baby. And even though it's not recommended to try to get pregnant as per the American Society of Reproductive Technology at this point of recording, I'm recording this on March 27th, it's not recommended to try. It is the best time to prepare. And really, you may feel that an IUI or an IVF, maybe your next step. Hopefully, if you're listening to this podcast, Get Pregnant Naturally, that's what you're trying to do right now too. So really taking a functional approach, which is very targeted. So with the functional approach, we have access to functional lab testing. We're looking at food sensitivity testing, hormone testing, stool testing, and hair testing. And then we use those tests to develop a customized diet and lifestyle program to help heal and prepare your body for a baby. But there still could be something that could be stopping you from considering a functional approach. So I wanted to dig into some of the top 3 things that we see that could be getting in your way, and how during this time you can look at things a little bit differently. The first thing we have is time. So obviously we're all busy. Most of us don't have extra time, but now when everything's closed down, you actually do have some extra time. Like the universe has given you this time. You're at home, unless your job is an essential service, like healthcare workers and grocery store employees and other essential services. Definitely shout out to those people that are going out there and helping us while we're at home. So definitely, if you're in the healthcare field or any other of the other essential services, thank you so much for all the work you're doing. But right now, if you're at home, you do have extra time. Your commute, an average commute is 30 minutes, so you've just saved yourself approximately 1 hour. So we primarily work with busy professionals, so you have just saved yourself an hour a day, and let's just see what we can do with that. And so this extra hour, you can fill it with worry and fear. I typically am not a big news person, but even obviously during this time, keeping updated, phones going off, and you can just go down a vicious cycle of the news feed and filled with worry and fear, or you can reframe your mindset and look to have it as one of hope and empowerment. So that's kind of looking at mindset is key. So what are you filling your time with? And then with the time piece, it's to set up a schedule. So I've been working at home for years. I remember in the very beginning when I first started doing it, I wanted to keep going out. I didn't know what to do. I considered myself very organized. I was unorganized. I was not taking my lunch. I was not taking breaks. I worked all the time. It went to like 10 or 11 at night until I'm like, wait a minute. It's sort of, you have to set this structured. So to be able to set up a schedule, take breaks, take your lunch. And like we talked about before, while it's admirable to want to help your friends and family, your community, not if it comes at your own expense. So if you find yourself overdoing, and we work with a lot of people, type A, like go for it, action-oriented kind of people. But if you find yourself overdoing, working all day long, like making lots of lists, feeling all sorts of pressure to do things for other people. Like now is to take some time to slow down. We have access to those functional tests and you make those diet and lifestyle changes. And it's equally important to work on your mental emotional stress. And especially right now with things being so uncertain and you not even sure what's going to happen with your fertility journey, there's an additional layer of stress on there. Everyone's kind of feeling this low level of anxiety. So for you with the time piece, now that you've been given this extra, we'll say an extra hour a day, what are you going to do with that? You can have extra sleep. Like to me, focusing on sleep, we've got a lot of podcast episodes there to look at talking about sleep. So using that to go to bed a little bit earlier, looking at your sleep. That's hugely important. We work with our couples for sleep hygiene for months, looking at blue light blocking glasses, which helps with your melatonin production, looking at setting up a sleep routine. It's a dark room. You can wear a sleep mask. The biggest thing is to try to get into bed before 10:30. And another one is to take your phone out of the room. Taking that extra hour to either sleep in or go to bed earlier. Meal prep. This is a lot of time people say, I don't have time for meal prep. Now is the time. You're at home. We are all forced to do home cooking right now. And even though I do see when my husband just went out a little while ago, there was, and our local fast food stuff is still open for pickup. And the line was around the block for McDonald's. So people are still running out and eating that junk because maybe they're sick of staying at home cooking. But like right now is a time to take that time to fuel your body with beautiful nutrient dense foods. Not about perfection here, but doing some of that meal prep. So taking that extra hour to do some chopping and preparing and do maybe some batch cooking. Taking that time for breathing and meditation. If meditation for you is like, I don't want to do it, I'm like resisting it, that might be something for you to dig into a little bit more. Going, wait a minute, maybe there's something in here for me. Because typically the people that resist it are the ones that need it the most. And even breathing, you can put a couple times during the day, you can just put on your phone a reminder, stop and take a few deep breaths, like in through the nose, out through the mouth. A lot of times we're in there having our belly contracted. So let the belly do the belly breathing. So in with the belly out and then bring the belly in. So it's really to be able to slow down. And if you're sitting there if you're working at home on your laptop and your shoulders are at your ears and your body's constricted and your stomach's, stuck in, to really wiggle it all out, do some deep breaths. And even that can be very helpful. So that's using your time there for breathing, meditation, fertility yoga. Also, you can have this time with your partner. Maybe both you guys were working and you're getting together on the weekends, but during the week it was hectic. Now they're here all the time. That can be a good thing or a bad thing. My partner's here. My husband's here and it's one long conference call that goes on all day long. So I'm hiding up in my office. He's pacing the floor downstairs on a call. But yeah, like it's good to have him home because he leaves at 7 and comes home at 7, typically. See if you can do anything with your relationship there. Like get back to joy do some things that you like. I see a lot of people doing painting projects and puzzles and things like that. So what can you and your partner do together? So you have that extra hour instead of, zoning out in front of television. Although if you wanted to pick a nice TV program that you enjoy, that can be good. But if you're mindlessly flipping through, that's not a good thing. But really kind of digging into what do you enjoy with your partner, and it could be time for like intimacy as well too. With those love languages, if it's physical touch, you could massage, and because all the massage places are closed. Yeah, like what can you do with your partner to use that hour together? So it's really to take that time, because if right now we've been given the time and we can just like waste it worrying, going down the rabbit hole of, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? Everything's been put on hold for my fertility journey. What can I do? Well, there's lots you can do right now with that hour to use to prepare. And if you haven't been given that hour and you're an essential worker, be able to incorporate mindfulness into your daily routine. If you're in the healthcare field, well, this is something for all of us. We're all washing our hands way more than normal. And even it's interesting with the not touching the face. I had no idea how many times a day I freaking touch my face. But anyways, I'm trying to touch it with a Kleenex. I don't know if that does anything, but yeah. So when you're washing your hands, mindfully wash your hands, like really be present with the soap, the water, instead of like scrubbing and running away, which can be difficult when we're washing them over and over and over again. And then also making sure you're moisturizing afterwards as well, because apparently some of the virus can get into the cracks of your hands. But yeah, it's really to see with that extra time that you've been given and that you're at home, you can waste it, or you can use it right now to really fuel and prepare your body for a baby. And it's to know that doing these things, slowing down and home cooking, focusing on relationships, looking at meditation, that is extremely important for relieving stress on your body, because the main stressors on your body are a food sensitivity, which we've talked about with the elimination diet, the gut infection, which we see every couple we work with, there's a gut infection going on there, parasite, a bacterial infection, a fungal infection, something has been missed, environmental toxins, so the personal care, plastics, cleaning products, and then the mental emotional side of things, and also structural stress, if you've got chronic pain or a pinched nerve, something out of alignment. So let's dig into the time piece. If you're a list maker, maybe say, I'm not going to make a list this weekend. If you're feeling pressure to do things for others, you can still do that, but say, wait a minute, how is that making me feel? Am I filling my cup up first before I'm then doing for others? So that's something to contemplate. So, we all have the time. You've been given it right now. And so you can go and consume all kinds of content about the coronavirus and what's going on right now and feel miserable, or you can know there's specific steps we can take right now to help heal and prepare your body for a baby. And it's interesting, people that I work with and most people that I see that are on the fertility journey, they are extremely well read. They're up to date on the latest fertility research. They know all the acronyms, but they could be spending their time in the wrong places. That's why our Fab Fertile method, it helps you take this targeted, personalized approach so you know what your next step is. So the next thing we see is that focusing on the wrong things. You could have potentially prioritized the wrong things. You could have prioritized work, social engagements, family, friends before you, and then not doing the right things as helping your body to get pregnant. So some of the things that we see people are doing the wrong things or focusing on the wrong things are focusing on the diagnosis. So like myopically looking at your infertility diagnosis and following generalized recommendations for that diagnosis, thinking that IVF or IUI is the only option. Like, so focusing on egg health and not looking at your whole body, because there's all sorts of general supplements you can do to help your egg health, but to look at your whole body, that's where you see the healing, to really see what else has been missed. So yeah, focusing on the diagnosis, just looking at egg health, and not looking at the whole body. Also, if your RE or OBGYN has said you would struggle, or that IVF is your only option. Sometimes IVF obviously can be your only option if there's a structural issue. Many times with a functional approach, like something has been overlooked, and then we get that well-meaning advice from your RE or OBGYN, and that advice gets stuck in our brain and we can't seem to let it go. And we think that this will be a struggle, that it won't work, or that our only option is IVF. And the other wrong things we see are, like we talked about with the stressors, not addressing the food sensitivities, the gut infections, the environmental toxins, the mental emotional stress, or the structural stress. Like completely, I think a lot of people will go into the mental emotional side of things and really try to work on there, potentially if there's trauma or any kind of blockages. I don't see many people getting the food sensitivities right. Most people get that wrong. I don't see anybody with gut infections. Most people have not tested for that, or if they have tested, it's the wrong test. It's outdated. There's lots of things in there that have been missed, potentially focusing on the wrong things. So it's important during this time, if you have prioritized other things before you, and then knowing that there's things that you can do right now, not addressing the stressors like we just talked about. So the food sensitivities, not to keep beating away on this, but this is the foundation of the functional approach of looking at food sensitivities, looking at gut infections, the environmental toxins, the mental emotional stress, and the structural stress. And so laying the foundation for your future baby is key. And really, it takes 90 days for the egg to renew itself, and the life cycle of the sperm is 70 to 80 days. So a short period of time. So that's the minimum typically. So our programs are 6 months, and it's a couples coaching program. It's both you and your partner to really dig into, well, what's been missed. And even if your partner's like, oh, my sperm is fine, there's always things we can do to optimize his health. And so to me right now, you've been given this time to be able to focus on and prepare your body, and then see, if you feel potentially you've already looked at things naturally or maybe even functionally, where we see people go wrong. So as I say, those things there. So to kind of think, well, what has been missed here? And so time, we've been given extra time, priorities, and focusing on the right things that actually, move the needle and help you see success. And the last one, which we talked about briefly, but really it's another one we see all the time, is thinking IVF is your only option. Now that the clinics are closed, people are in like panic mode and thinking, what am I going to do? Whereas to me, IVF can be, it's an expensive option, and IVF has an average success rate of 30%, and right now with clinics delaying cycles or canceling cycles, right now, it has never been, ever in the history of years and years, this is the absolute best time to prepare your body for a baby. And there's steps you can take right now. If you do want to do the IVF, that right now you would have spent the time to actually see what's happening, see what's going on. And then when you do go to IVF, you're increasing your chances. I think to get out of our mind that maybe people don't think this, but I talking to a lot of people, I think they do. And that's why we go to, IVF, that IVF is not a guarantee. Like we talked about, it only has a 30% success rate, and IUI has a 10% success rate, and donor eggs have 50% success rate. So the average success rate for my clients who follow my programs are 45%. So meaning that if you're one of those couples who's just been diagnosed, or you've had a failed IUI or an IVF, or you've had multiple failed IUIs or IVFs, functional approach could actually be more cost effective and successful. So it's to dig into, and I think it's in our society that basically you go to your OBGYN, then you're told to go to your, how you referral to your RE. It's important to do those basic tests that they recommend to figure out, what is anything structurally wrong. But then IVF was developed for people that have issues with their tubes. And now it's being recommended for every last infertility diagnosis. When in the functional approach, and we look at the whole body, it's not just the diagnosis, it's other things going on, and talking about those stressors. Going to the fertility clinic, you're not getting to the root cause. So obviously we have couples that come to us after years of trying, like multiple failed cycles, huge financial burden, and we're in the realm of saying, to trust the doctors. But my thing is to really trust yourself, like listen to, your body best, and it's assembling that team. And it's not excluding your RE or OBGYN. They're a crucial part of your team, but also including a fertility coach, including a nutritionist, including your either a chiro or a masseuse or an acupuncturist. So like those are equally important, but you're in the center. You know your body best. And a lot of times we just give over our power to the person in the white coat. And so being able to step back and say, wait a minute, how can I look at this thing differently? Those are the three things that I'm seeing right now. Right now, time has been given to you, so you can take some time to explore what has been going on. So this time can be filled with worry or fear, or you can reframe your mindset and see what is it that you can do right now with this time, with your relationships, getting back to joy, adding, looking at your sleep, adding in some mindfulness. So some steps right there. And then also your priorities. What are you spending your time on? Are you doing the right thing? Have you really dug into the food sensitivity piece? Like now is the best time for you and your partner to do the elimination diet. Like start tomorrow. There's an episode there I talk about how and why to do the elimination diet. Like dig into the diet piece. If you've already dug into the diet piece, then we look at the testing, dig into that further. And then thinking right now that, IVF, everything's on pause. We could be feeling in a very low place, grief-stricken, heartbroken, as our journey is placed on hold. And knowing right now although it could be hard, so you'd be able to reframe this to see that there's an opportunity. And if that word ticks you off, then think of another word, but really see what else can you do during this time. And knowing this time is the universe giving you a sign that this is the time for you to slow down and prepare. And so to me, if you haven't tried the functional approach with a fertility expert, healing opportunities have been missed. And really, so now is the time to take action. And really, this time is going to pass. It's going to pass quickly. And we don't know when, but we want to spend this time wisely. If you want help on your journey to parenthood, all you do is you can book a call with you and your partner to discuss a plan. Just go to FabFertile, F-A-B Fertile, and click on book a free call. So I hope this was helpful for you, giving you some action steps you can do right now. As they say, right now is the best time to prepare, and would love to hear your thoughts on that. Melatonin is important for female fertility. It helps regulate hormones and maintain the body's circadian rhythms. Plus, it helps determine the frequency and duration of the menstrual cycle. Plus, it impacts sperm count and motility. Blue and green light negatively impact our melatonin production. That's why we recommend Blue Blocks, blue and green light sleep glasses to all our one-to-one clients. Simply go to Blue Blocks, BLUBLOX.com, and use the coupon code GetPregnantPodcast at checkout to receive your 15% discount. That's Blue Blocks, BLUBLOX.com, and use the coupon code GetPregnantPodcast. Hey there, I regularly speak with 5 to 10 couples per week who are struggling to have their baby. And although we want to help everyone, we only have 2 spots available per month to work with us. So the Supercharge Your Fertility Discovery Call is for action takers, really people who are ready to move forward so they can finally have their baby. And if you're not ready and you wait, the risk is you'll need to wait 2 to 3 months for a spot to open up. So if you're seriously considering working with us, go to FabFertile, FABfertile.com, and click on Book a Free Call. Then you'll be all booked in and ready to spend 30 minutes to give you the action plan to getting pregnant naturally. That's FabFertile, FABfertile.com, and click on Book a Free Call. The Get Pregnant Naturally podcast, including show notes and links, provides information with respect to healthy living, nutrition, lab testing, and is intended for informational purposes only. The information provided is not a substitute for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment, nor is it to be construed as such. We cannot guarantee that the information provided on the Get Pregnant Naturally podcast reflects the most up-to-date medical research. Information is provided without representation or warranties of any kind. Please consult a qualified physician for medical advice and always seek the advice of a qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding your health and nutrition program.